Look, I'm now approaching that time of the year where I can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel in terms of what has been a long winter for me. And this video, if you stick around and watch, I'm going to talk about a selection of perfumes that I really enjoyed wearing over the last 5-6 months. So I'm not splitting them up between autumn and winter perfumes because as far as I'm concerned, everything's interchangeable, especially with the seasons being the way they are here. It might be different in different parts of the world, but I pretty much wear the same group of perfumes over the colder season. So with a twist this video, I've chosen a selection of perfumes that I've really enjoyed wearing, but with the added bonus, I guess, for some of you, in that they're some of my longer lasting perfumes. So before I get into the list, if you want to skip ahead, you can. I just want to qualify what I'm talking about when we're saying long-lasting beast mode, for want of better terminology. They are all dependent on several things. A few factors that I'm going to mention are what materials they're predominantly comprised of, to some extent the concentration of the particular perfume, but just so you know, there are going to be some perfumes here that are eau de toilette. I have eau de toilettes that seem to last longer than eau de parfums and even parfum extract concentration, vice versa as well. Projection varies between them, so I'll talk a little bit about them each as I show you what I've been enjoying that lasts a long time on my skin. Also, one thing to take into consideration is that longevity for an individual could have as much to do with nose fatigue and anosmia than actually how long it physically lasts on your skin. And the only way you can kind of sort of be more objective about it is if you stop smelling something, but somebody else can still smell it on you, then clearly a perfume has lasted long enough on your skin. And it's obviously a case of nose blindness, nose fatigue, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go through this list fairly quickly because I've actually spoken about all of these before in some form or another. I've done reviews for some of them, some I have not reviewed. So let's get into the list. I'm going to do this in alphabetical order, and what I've also done is I think I've varied the type of fragrance profiles that I've enjoyed as well. So there should be something that might interest everyone here. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Epic Woman by Amouage. Wonderful, wonderful incense rose spice perfume. And look, this perfume, I've only recently just spent the whole week wearing this each day. So this was my scent of the week where I wore this every single day, and then I changed it up later on in the day with something different. The best thing about the fact that this lasts on me a good 8 hour day is that I can always smell it. And the even better thing about that is that it's not an annoying thing for me. There are some perfumes, and I'm sure you probably all have experienced them, where the longevity and the projection is amazing, but after a while that can be really annoying, and it can make you not like a perfume if it's bugging you that much. So, I mean, it's happened to me where I've had perfumes off the top of my head now. I probably can't think of something specifically, but I've sprayed it on, it smelled great. After 4 or 5 hours, I've just wanted to scrub it off. So whether that's just a bad composition in that the dry down, the base doesn't smell as good as the first couple of hours, who knows. But yeah, Epic Woman from Amouage, beautiful rose incense. The next one is a tobacco-based perfume. It's probably my favorite honey tobacco perfume. I don't own much actually, but it's the one I own. This one is Fumerie Turc from Serge Lutens. It's really, these bottles, like honestly, one of my least favourite bottle designs. Even aesthetically, like I don't even like to look at them. Practically, like I keep these in my boxes and they're lying horizontal. But I'm here to talk about the scent. Smoky, beeswax, honey. That tobacco is almost chewy in a way. There is dried fruits in there. I mean, Christopher Sheldrake, Serge Lutens have definitely achieved the brief for what I believe is the brief for this Turkish smokehouse. Recalling hookah pipe smoking cafes, and that's what I get from that. And this one here stays relatively close to the skin, but it's all day. This one, compared to something like Epic Woman, is a little bit more linear in that I essentially smell kind of the same from opening to dry down, whereas with Epic Woman, I will get different things at different times of the day, or even, the way I happen to move on any given moment. For the next one is one for probably vanilla lovers, I guess. Vanilla, a little bit of floral incense, and this is from Habanita. This is from Molinard, actually. It's Habanita Eau de Parfum. So I think these first three are all Eau de Parfum concentrations. Now, Habanita has been my winter security blanket, essentially. So every time I've worn this in basically the dead of winter here, and, I felt just miserable about the weather and not being able to be in the sunshine and doing stuff. Whenever I've worn Habanita, it's given me a sense of comfort. But I will, I guess, qualify that by saying that for some people, the powdery aspect of Habanita might get a little bit too much. So even in the colder months, I wouldn't overspray this, because you're still going to, well, I mean, I'll talk about this later, but at least I do smell it all day long, and it's always at my nose. The next one is a leather, and it's my most recent addition to this particular collection, and I only familiarised myself with it in the last week or so, and this is Canisa 10, I believe. This is an eau de toilette concentration. It's a smoky, oily leather in the opening. Really just reminds me of a mechanic's greasy floor at times. The leather is there, but I get that sense of greasiness and oil. And if I'm speaking honestly, the opening is still my least favourite part about this. But then again, the thing that surprised me about this is that after several hours, I would occasionally smell my wrist, where I'd probably put one spray on at the beginning of the day, and suddenly smell this gorgeous ambery powder accord. And it almost, the first time I noticed it, almost took me by surprise, because I thought, when did I spray this perfume on? And I realized it was still the same perfume. So what I really loved about this is that it changed so much. And so, like, over the course of wearing this for a week, I actually grew to really, really like it. And, each subsequent day I was looking forward to spraying it on. And just the fact that I liked the dry down so much, it psychologically changed me into thinking that I also didn't mind the opening as much as I did in the first few times I sprayed it. It was weird. And again, it's early days. I really enjoyed wearing this for a whole week. It was nice and cold last week, and I really, really enjoyed. And it's different to a lot of leathers. It's like it's not quite like any other leather perfume that I've smelled. The next one is leaning towards the Chypre family. It is it has leather in the name at least, but to be honest with you, I don't get a lot of leather with this. This is probably the best value of this selection in terms of pricing. It is, I don't know if I had to gatekeep something, I would probably gatekeep this because the brand is not one for perfume snobs, but they have produced some pretty good perfumes over their time. I'm talking about Leather Jardin from Zara. Now, apart from smelling excellent, this perfume really surprised me with how well it lasted on my skin. I've worn it since late last year. I have worn it in the summer, in the warmer months. But I think it definitely shines when it's a little bit colder. You get more detail from it. It exposes layers of itself. And again, the surprising thing was really, this is something that I would smell, and even if I like the smell, I wouldn't expect it to perform as well as it does on my skin. So, Leather Jardin from Zara. The next three actually are not bottles that I own. They are a couple of samples and a little decant. So this one will eventually become a bottle. This is my little decant of Chanel's Le Lion. I don't want to say too much about it. I've spoken about it before. I've done a review. Le Lion lasts easily 10 hours on my skin where I can smell it without even trying. And the best thing about it is that it literally smells, I smell something different every couple of hours, whether it's the labdanum, whether occasionally I smell patchouli or some leather notes in there, or that lovely sort of juicy bergamot in the opening. It just is a really, the best way I can describe why I enjoy wearing Le Lion is it's one of the most satisfying perfume wears in my wardrobe. Like, I'll spray it on at the beginning of the day, and I know that I'm just going to smell good for the rest of the day, and I'm going to be occasionally surprised by what I'm smelling in the air, and remember that I'm wearing Le Lion. It's just a wonderful, wonderful perfume. The next one is a gourmand. Well, I see it as a gourmand. It's from Manos Gerakinis. I've spoken about this before. This is Methexis. I don't even have my sample anymore, so I need to get some more of it, whether it be a bottle or some more decant. One of the best dry cocoa in combination with this creamy, fruity fig accord, but none of those two elements are too sweet, and the longevity on this, albeit apart from the opening where you smell more of the fig, and then transitions into the cocoa, it's relatively linear, but it just smells good the whole way through. I get a good at least 8 hours from it, and just perfect in winter if you want something a little bit foodie. The last one that I'm going to mention is an iris, and I also really enjoy this iris in warm weather, but I just love the fact that this is, I guess, an unadorned iris. There's nothing much else to it. It's a really refined iris note. It's really smooth, but the best part is that I smell it, for most of the day when I'm wearing it. And it's probably no surprise given its Molecule Plus with iris from Escentric Molecules. I guess the ISO E Super that's in here is probably helping it stay on my skin, but whatever it is, it's working for me. So they're the perfumes that I really enjoyed with great longevity on my skin. I do want to mention that there is absolutely no guarantee that you guys will try any of these perfumes and have the same performance as me. It's just a fact of life with perfumes. And I promise you, you can test something, and like I said earlier, it might be nose fatigue or just your skin. I don't expect them to last as long when it's warmer as well. And I should also mention that some of these are actually really good, particularly stuff like Fumari Turk and Habanita on clothing. They just, like, I've had this scarf I've worn all winter and it just pretty much smells of those two perfumes. So again, try them if you can, but please don't expect any guarantees that they're going to perform on you like they do for me, because it's just not something that can be replicated 100% of the time. So I really enjoyed these. They last a long time on me. They've gotten me through what's been a long winter. I mean, there's still a bit of it left, but at least for the next few days, we've got a couple of days of weather that resemble spring more than they do winter. So if you are interested in watching some more videos where I've talked about long-lasting, great-performing perfumes, you can check out this playlist here. In the meantime, it's been great to see you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you all later. Bye.